Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Dragon Master's Flight of the Moondragon full book. Let's get started. Chapter 1, Saving the Dragonstone. I really am worried about the Dragonstone, said Drake. 6 Dragon Masters sat around a dining table in King Roland's castle. 5 of them lived in the castle: Drake, Bo, Rory, Anna, and Petra. Haru, the 6th Dragon Master, lived in the land of pyramids. The Dragonstone had chosen each of them to connect with their dragons. Haru had flown a long way on Wadi, his dragon. Wadi was resting in the dragon caves, and Haru had brought some important news. The Prime Dragonstone was dying. You are right to be worried, Drake, said Haru. We must quickly find the Prime Dragonstone so that we can try to save it. That is why I came here. My family thinks you and your friends can help us. Wait, what exactly is the Prime Dragonstone? Bo asked. Haru looked down. A green stone hung from a cord around his neck. Each of the others wore a stone just like it. We each wear a piece of the Dragonstone to connect with our dragons, Haru explained. All of our smaller stones come from the Prime Stone. Anna, Drake, Rory, Petra, Haru, and Bo. So is the Prime Dragonstone huge? Asked Anna, who is also from the land of pyramids. I think so, said Haru, but I have never seen it. It has been kept a secret inside a secret pyramid for many years. The scroll tells us that it will take 6 dragons to enter the pyramid. But first, we must find it. Just then Griffith the wizard walked into the room. I've spoken with King Roland, he said. I asked if you may all go to the land of pyramids. He will tell us soon, but I will stay here and look for a way to save the Dragonstone. The king has to say yes, said Rory. If the Dragonstone dies, we won't be able to connect with our dragons anymore. Petra, the newest Dragon Masters, turned to Haru. If you've never seen the Prime Stone, then how do you know it is dying? She asked. Our family has a larger piece of the stone, just like Griffith does, Haru explained. Its glow keeps fading, and lately I have had trouble connecting with Wadi. Those are signs that the Prime Stone is weakening. As Haru spoke, Drake's own Dragonstone started to flicker. It wasn't glowing strong like it usually did when Worm, his Earth Dragon, communicated with him. But still, Drake heard his dragon's voice in his head. Come, said Worm. It is. Then his voice stopped. It's Worm, Drake said. It sounds like something is wrong, but he didn't finish his message. We must go to the caves. The Dragon Masters rushed down to the long staircase that led to the dragon caves. Drake ran up to Worm, a brown dragon with tiny wings and a body like a snake. What's wrong? Drake asked. Worm nodded to the cave of Vulcan, Roar's fire dragon. The dragon was snorting and pawing the ground. Vulcan, Roar cried. She ran to him. What's the matter? His connection to you is getting weaker. Vulcan may be feeling confused and scared. Roar reached the bars of the cave and patted the dragon's nose. Hang in there, Vulcan, she said. We'll find a way to save the Dragonstone. Griffith! Simon, a castle guard said as he marched in. King Roland agrees that the Dragon Master should go to the land of the pyramids. They may leave at once. Chapter 2, The Dragon Temple. Excellent, Griffith said. You are off to the land of pyramids. My parents will be waiting for us when we arrive, said Haru. Sounds like a very long trip, said Petra. She twisted a blonde curl around her finger. Are we going to fly there? No, we will have to use Worm's power to get us there quickly, explained Haru. Anna's dark eyes showed excitement. Worm can get us there in the blink of an eye, she said. Can Worm take all of us and our dragons? Drake nodded. First I'll tell him where to go. Then if everyone touches their dragon and then touches Worm, he'll get us there. Everyone please get your dragons ready, Griffith said. The Dragon Masters moved quickly. Rory brought out Vulcan, who was calmer now. Anna led out her shimmering white sun dragon, Capri. Haru took out Wadi, a black moon dragon, who was Capri's twin. Bo's blue water dragon, Shu, followed him out of the cave. Petra stepped out with Zara, her Hydra, a 4-headed poison dragon. Drake talked to Worm. Worm, can you take us to Hero's temple in the land of pyramids? He asked. Worm nodded, and Drake led him out of the cave. I'll join you as soon as I can, Griffith said. Griffith told them all, I will trust that you find the stone, and I hope that the key to saving it is somewhere in my books. All right, everybody, Drake called out. Touch your dragon, and then touch Worm. The Dragon Masters obeyed. Worm closed his eyes. His body started to go green. Then, whoosh, green light exploded in the caves. When it faded, they weren't in the caves anymore. They were outside. A bright moon shone on a stone temple. There were 2 dragon statues, one on each side of the door. A man and a woman ran out of the temple. Hero, you are back, said the woman. And you've brought help, said the man. Very good. Welcome to the land of pyramids, Dragon Masters. Everybody, this is Tarek, my dad, and Sarah, my mom, Hero said, introducing the Dragon Masters to his parents. Then 6 men wearing white tunics and pants rushed out the temples. These workers will take your dragons inside, Tarek said. We don't want any curious villagers coming here. We have important work to do. Sarah clapped her hands. Come, she said. We must go to the temple secret chamber. Chapter 3, A Clue. We are keepers of the ancient secrets of dragons, Tarek announced as the Dragon Masters walked through the temple. These secrets have been passed down in our family for years. Torches lit the walls of the temple. Pictures of dragons were carved onto the walls. Then they went downstairs and came to a room full of dragon statues. Sarah walked to a statue with sparkly green eyes. Those look like dragon stones, both said. Sarah smiled and removed one of the stones. The wall in the front of her slid open. She waited for everyone to follow her. The secret chamber was filled with shelves loaded with scrolls and books. Sarah took one of the scrolls. She moved to a larger table. This is all we know about the Prime Stone, she said, unrolling the scroll. Drake looked at it. On top of the page was a strange-looking dragon symbol. The rest of the page was filled with pictures, not alphabet letters. This is very old writing, Anna explained. In ancient times, people wrote messages with pictures instead of words. Yes, agreed Tarek. I have read these pictures many times. The scroll says the Prime Dragon Stone is in the Pyramid of the 7 Dragons, but we do not know which pyramid that is, or how to find the dragon stone within the pyramid. There is also a rhyme, said Sarah. She picked up the scroll and read it aloud. A flying dragon will find the pyramid. 6 dragons are needed to find the Prime Stone. 6 dragons must go with their dragon masters. No dragon or master can do it alone. The message is clear, said Tarek. It will take 6 dragons to find a stone. That is why we need your help. 1 flying dragon will find the pyramid, Drake repeated. Does that mean the pyramid can be seen only from the sky? Sarah nodded. Hero has searched with Wadi many times, but he has not found the secret pyramid yet, she said. I will search again tonight, Hero said. Hero. Wadi can hold one more rider. Drake's and Rory's hands shot up. I'll go, they both said. Hero grinned. Drake beat you by 1 second, Rory. Yay, cheered Drake. Drake frowned. Why can't we all fly with our dragons and look for the pyramid? She asked. A dark dragon like Wadi can fly at night without being seen, Tarek explained. Hero turned to Drake. Let's go find the pyramid of the 7 dragons, he called out. Good luck, Anna called out. Wati, look out! Drake ran outside with Hero. Chapter 4. The temple workers had brought Wadi there. The boys climbed onto the moon dragon saddle. Hero patted Wadi's neck. Wadi, please fly to the pyramids. Wadi flapped his wings and took off into the air. The moon lit up the village below. The rows of houses gave way to the sands of the desert. We must look at all the pyramids from above, said Hero. Keep an eye out for anything that could tell us which one is the pyramid of the 7 dragons. Drake looked down. Dozens of pyramids were scattered across the sand. 3 of them had pointy gold caps that glittered in the moonlight. Maybe it's one of the shiny ones, Jake suggested. They look important. Harry nodded, steered Waddy towards the nearest one. Jake looked up at the pyramid closely. It had smooth stones, sides, and a golden tip, but nothing said that it was the Pyramid of the Seven Dragons. Waddy, the next one, Harry called out. They flew to the second golden-tipped pyramid and the third, but they all looked pretty much the same. These are not what we're looking for, said Harry. They flew over more pyramids. They all had smooth stone walls. Drake frowned. I don't see anything special about these pyramids, he said. We must keep searching, said Harry. Waddy soared across the desert. He flew over another pyramid. Drake looked at it. The walls were smooth. Then, I see something, Drake exclaimed. That pyramid has squiggly lines carved into the stone. Do you see them? Yes, said Harry. I did not notice them before. Waddy, take us closer. Waddy swooped down. He circled the pyramid. Drake gasped. There were dark lines on each side of the pyramid. Alone, they didn't look like anything. But when Waddy and Drake circled the pyramid, it's the dragon symbol from the scroll, Harry cried. We have found the Pyramid of the Seven Dragons. Then Drake heard a rumble in the sky. He looked up. Dark clouds floated overhead. A storm is coming, he said. We should get back. Waddy, take us home. Harry said, but Waddy kept flying around the pyramid. Waddy, stop! Harry yelled, but the moon dragon didn't listen. Harry looked down at his dragon stone. My stone is flickering, he gasped. Boom! Thunder crashed. Lightning shot out of a storm cloud. We're flying right into the lightning, Drake yelled. Chapter 5. 6 Dragons, 6 Masters. Harry pulled tightly on Waddy's neck to steer him away from a lightning bolt. Then the moon dragon flew back to the temple as soft rain fell. Drake and Harry climbed off Waddy's back. Harry's parents and other dragon masters ran up to meet them. Did you find the pyramid? Rory asked. Yes, Drake replied, but Waddy became confused out there, like Vulcan did back in the caves. My stone was flickering, explained Harry. Waddy couldn't follow my directions, and we almost got struck by lightning. Turek nodded. We are glad that you are safe. Your connections with your dragons are really weakening now. It's good that you found the pyramids so quickly. There's no time to waste, added Turek. You must all go there at once to find the stone. The other dragons were brought outside. The dragon masters touched Worm. Drake pictures the pyramid with the dragon symbol. Worm, take us there, he said. Whoosh! In a flash, Worm took everyone to the Pyramid of the Seven Dragons. Drake gazed at the tall pyramid in front of them. Now we have to figure out how to get inside, he said. That looks like a door, said Anna, walking up to a big stone shaped like a rectangle. Rory pushed on the stone. It didn't move. How does it open? Petra studied the door. There are 6 symbols carved on it. Maybe these are a clue, she said. Drake looked at the symbol. He saw a moon, a fire, a sun, and a drop of water. There was a round symbol that looked like a rock. And there was a skull. Wait a second, Drake said. Those look like the powers of our dragons, Rory said with him. Petra touched the skull. That's the symbol for poison. Maybe if I push on it, the door will open? She pushed on the skull. Nothing happened. There are 6 symbols and 6 of us, said Bo. Maybe each of us needs to touch the symbol that matches our dragon. He touched the water drop. Anna touched the sun. Harry touched the moon. Jake touched the rock. Rory touched the flame, and Petra touched the skull again. All 6 stones pushed in. The door slid up. Hurry, said Harry. We must find the dragon stone and save it before it's too late. Chapter 6. The Rules of the Pyramid. All 6 dragon masters and the dragons rushed into the pyramid. The door slammed down behind them. Light, please, said Anna. The sun dragon opened her mouth, and sunlight poured out. Drake looked around. There was a large stone in the middle of the room. Words were carved into it. Inside these walls are 6 secret rooms. In each room is a clue to unwind. Choose one dragon to solve each puzzle, then leave dragon and master behind. Think with care before each chase is made, or forever you may be confined. When one dragon and master remained, then at last the prime stone they will find. I just realized something odd, said Bo. The rhyme calls for 6 dragons, but this pyramid is called the Pyramid of the 7 Dragons. And why does that say it will be confined? Petra asked. Does that mean we'll be trapped in this pyramid? It sure sounds that way, said Rory. Worm might be able to help us, said Harrow. How? Drake asked. My family studies all kinds of dragons. Harrow replied. Earth dragons' scales have power. If we each take a scale, Worm can transport us all out of here after one of us reaches the stone. Drake looked at Worm. Will that work? He asked. Drake's dragonstone began to glow. He heard the answer in his head. It will work. You may take my scales. Wait, how will we know when Worm is going to transport us? Bo asked. I will know when it is time to leave. Then I will tell the other dragons, Worm said. Worm will tell your dragons when it is time, Drake repeated. Just stay close to your dragon. He stroked Worm, looking for loose scales. He gently pulled out 5 scales and gave them each to the dragon masters. Thanks, said Rory. Now what do we do? I think the rhyme tells us what to do, said Bo. Each of our dragons must have the power to get us out of one room and into the next. Capri shone her light around the room as the dragon masters looked for a way out. They saw 4 walls made up of stones, but no door. So which dragon gets us out of this room? Anna asked. Chapter 7, The Pipe in the Wall. I don't see a door anywhere, Rory said. We need to find the doors to figure out which dragon can open it. Bo said. Petra studied Wormwood. What about the smooth area? There are smaller stones around it. Drake pushed on the smooth stone. It didn't move. This could be a way out, he said, but there must be a special way to open it. I don't see any symbols this time, said Anna. Only one of our dragons can get us out of here, Harrow said. So we must think about our dragon's powers. Which power could move the stone? Vulcan is the strongest, Rory bragged. He could push right through it. I don't think that's a good idea, Anna said. Remember when Vulcan tried to push through stone and the tunnel collapsed on us? Petra looked up. We don't want the whole pyramid falling on us. I don't think Vulcan is the answer here, said Drake. He thought about when the tunnel collapsed. Worm had moved big rocks using the power of his mind. Worm can move stone, Drake said. Worm's powers could probably get us out of any room, said Petra. So I might need to save him for something no other dragon can do. Drake nodded. Good point. Bo was looking above the smooth door. A stone pipe was sticking out of the wall. Maybe that pipe is a clue? Guessed Bo. Pipes carry water, and Shu is a water dragon. Drake understood. Do you think Shu could shoot water into the pipe? Yes, of course, said Bo. Drake felt a pang at the thought of leaving Bo behind first. You have Worm's scale, right? He asked. Bo nodded. Drake took a deep breath. Okay, so let's see if Shu can open this door. Bo's dragonstone glowed. Shu, please shoot water through that pipe. Shu shot a stream of water right into the pipe. After a few seconds, the smooth part of the wall began to rise. It's working, Rory cried. The door stayed open as Shu continued to shoot water. Hurry, get through that door, Drake yelled. Everyone dashed through the door with their dragons. Drake looked back at Bo and Shu. We'll be fine, Bo called out as Shu's water stream slowed down. Good luck! Then the door slammed shut. Chapter 8, The Vines. Capri moved her head from side to side, shining sunlight around the second room. This time, the dragon masters and their dragons could clearly see the way out. A big round rock blocked an opening in the wall. Vulcan could try to push it, Roy said. First we need to know more about what we're dealing with, said Petra. Drake heard drip, drip, drip. Quiet, everyone, he said. Where's that sound coming from? Capri shone light on a big stone pot set a few feet away from the big rock. The dragon masters crept closer to the pot. Vines were carved into the side of the pot. Inside, the pot was filled with dirt. Then Drake looked up. A pipe stuck out from the ceiling. It was dripping water into the dirt. This pipe must be connected to the last room, said Drake. Anna smiled. Plants need water to grow, but they need sunlight too, she said. Of course, said Petra. Anna turned to Capri. Please shine your light inside the pot, she said. Golden light poured from the sun dragon's mouth. It hit the dirt in the pot. The dirt began to stir. Small green shoots sprang up. It's working, Rory cheered. The green shoot grew into a thick vine. The vine grew out of the pot. More vines grew. They snaked away from Capri, across the floor toward the big round rock. As they grew, they pushed the rock. They opened the doorway. That's good, Capri, Anna said. The dragon stopped shining her light on the vines, but they kept growing, and they started to fill the opening of the door. We must hurry, said Harrow. Drake, Rory, Petra, and Harrow ran past the door with their dragons. The vines were growing bigger and bigger, and the dragon masters had to squeeze past them. Drake looked back at Anna. He could see her and Capri through the tangle of vines. Waddy let out a sad cry. Anna waved. Keep going. We'll be okay, she called out. Then the vines closed off the doorway completely. Without Capri's sunlight, the room was very dark. Vulcan, fire, Rory said. 2 flames danced out of Vulcan's nostrils. They cast a glow around the room. The vines had chased them into this new room. They were growing fast. They spread out along the walls. I see a door. Get there before the vines block it, Drake yelled, pointing to the far wall. They raced across the room, but the vines reached the far wall before the Dragon Masters did. The big, thick vines blocked the door. We're trapped, Petra cried. Chapter 9. 4 dragons left. Drake tried to think fast. He looked around the 3rd room. The vines covered every inch of the walls. Time for a bonfire, said Rory. Vulcan, wait, Rory, Harrow cried. That could be dangerous. We have no way to put out a fire. Rory's face turned pale. I forgot we left Shoe behind, she said. I have an idea, said Petra. Zara's poison can melt rocks. I bet it can kill these vines. Good thinking, Petra, said Ken. So I'll ask her to spray the vines with poison where we saw the door, Petra said. Then you can open it. Harrow nodded. That's right, Petra bitterlipped. What if Zara sprays somebody by mistake? She asked. Drake knew she was worried. Zara's poison had accidentally hit both him and King Roland. It had made them very sick. We'll stay out of the way, he said. Tell Zara to aim carefully and make sure your stone is glowing. Petra nodded. Okay, she said. She looked down at her stone, which was glowing brightly. Zara aimed straight ahead. Kill those vines. The Hydra's 4 heads reared back. Liquid poison shot from each of her 4 mouths and sprayed the vines. The vines withered and turned brown. They fell to the floor, and everyone could see the door again. Rory ran to the door and easily pushed it open. Let's go, she called out. Harrow and Waddy hurried after her. Drake followed, looking back at Petra. She waved to him with a bright smile on her face. Brave smile. Petra, Zara, Anna, and Capri, Bone Shoe, all of them are trapped. Drake had promised that Worm would save them all. He looked down at Dragonstone. I hope the Prime Stone doesn't die before Worm can get us all out, he thought. Chapter 10. Fire! Drake, Harrow, and Rory looked up around the 4th room. Vulcan's flame lit up the darkness. Drake could see lots of thick ropes hanging down from the high ceiling. Then he spotted a door across the room. The door was made of a thin stone slab. A rope connected to the doorway connected the door to a heavy stone cube that dangled above the floor. Another rope connected the cube to a metal loop sticking out of the wall. All right, this must be Vulcan's challenge, Rory said. He needs to burn the rope that connects the cube to the metal loop, right? She pointed to the rope attached to the hanging cube. Good thinking, Harry replied. Then the cube will fall. And when it does, the door will lift up. Just be careful, Rory, Drake said. Make sure Vulcan burns through only that one rope, or all these ropes on the ceiling will go up in flames. Rory rolled her eyes. You sound like Griffith, she said. I'm so good at controlling Vulcan. I can ask him to make a big flame or a really tiny one. Rory pointed. Vulcan, burn that rope, she cried. Her dragonstone glowed bright green at first, but then flickered and went out. Vulcan roared. He reared back. A fireball shot from his mouth. The flames hit the ropes hanging above them. Within seconds, the ropes on the ceiling caught on fire. Vulcan, no, Rory yelled, shielding her eyes from the flames. Harrow hopped on Waddy's back. He whispered to the dragon. Waddy flew up and spread his wings, smothering the flames on the ceiling. Waddy flew back down. Good job, Waddy, said Harrow. And look, said Drake, the rope attached to the cube wasn't hit. Rory's dragonstone was glowing very brightly now. Rory, quick, ask Vulcan to try again, Drake cried. But Rory looked scared. It wasn't your fault, Harrow said. Your stone was weak, but it is bright green now. Rory looked under her stone. She patted her dragon's neck. Try again, Vulcan, she said. Just a small flame on that rope over there. This time, Vulcan hit the right rope, the right spot. The flame burned through the rope. The cube-shaped stone dropped. The stone door lifted up. Drake, Harrow, Waddy, and Worm raced through it. Then a spark hit the rope connecting the cube to the door. The rope burned quickly. Save that dragon stone, Rory called after them as the door slammed shut. The fifth room was very dark. Worm, can you glow? Drake asked. Worm glowed a faint green. Drake could see the outline of the door. There was a symbol of a crescent moon above it, but that was it. It looks like a moon dragon will have to open this door, Drake said. Harrow nodded. Waddy, moonlight, please. A ribbon of dark light streamed from Waddy's mouth. It looked like a rainbow made of blue, black, and purple. The light lit up the wall in front of them. Drake gasped. Glowing pictures appeared on the door. The ancient writing didn't show under Worm's glow, said Drake. Waddy's moonlight made it show up. Harry read the message. It said I must read the rhyme aloud to open the door, he said. When it opens, you and Worm must pass through. Drake's stomach flip-flopped. He suddenly realized that he would be moving on alone. I thought maybe you would be the last one, he said to Harrow. You can do this, Drake, Harrow told him. Whatever you find in that room, you and Worm will handle. I have faith in both of you. Drake looked at Worm. Ready? He asked. Worm nodded. Harrow read the rhyme aloud. A water dragon was Dragon 1. Dragon 2 was of the sun. Dragon 3 was poison green. A fire dragon was fourth to be seen. Dragon 5 was of the moon. Will the earth dragon get them all out soon? As Harrow said the words, the door slid open. Drake and Worm entered the sixth room, and the door closed behind them. Chapter 12. A puzzle. Drake and Worm stood alone in the darkness. It's so dark in here, Drake whispered. Worm's body began to glow with the green light again. Drake could see 6 large stone balls in the center of the room, placed in circles. They looked perfectly round and smooth. Beyond them, on the wall, was a stone door. Above it, carved in the stone, was a line of 6 holes. Do you think those stone balls go into the holes above the door, Worm? Drake asked. Drake heard Worm's voice in his head. Yes. Drake walked over to one of the stones. He put his arms around it. It was so heavy. These are too heavy for me to move, thought Drake, but Worm could move them with his mind. Drake looked at the stones. Each one had a symbol on them, just like the symbols on the front door. There was a moon, a sun, a flame, a rock, and a skull. Next, Drake looked at the holes above the door. He didn't see any symbols on them. How will I know which dragon stone goes where? There must be a special way they need to go in, Drake said. Then he remembered the words from the rhyme that Harrow had just read. A water dragon was Dragon 1, Drake repeated. That's it. I bet the stones go into the wall in the same order as we crossed through the pyramid. So the stone with the water drop goes in first. Ready, Worm? Worm nodded. The stone with the water drop floated up, and it fit perfectly into the first hole above the door. Dragon 2 was of the sun. Drake said, remembering the rhyme. The stone with the sun symbol glowed. It floated up and slid into the second hole. Great job, Worm, Drake said. Zero is the third dragon, so the poison symbol is next. Worm lifted the stone with the skull symbol, then the stone with the flame, then the stone with the moon. One more, Worm, Drake cheered. Worm's body glowed, and the stone with the rock symbol on it slowly rose up. It floated into the final hole above the door. Creak! The door lifted up. We did it! Cheered Drake. Worm crawled through the doorway with Drake. They entered the seventh room. Suddenly, Worm sank to the ground. His glow faded. Worm! Drake cried. What's wrong? Worm didn't answer. Drake looked around the room. There, towering above them, was the prime dragon stone. Light poured from the huge green stone, blinking on and off. But the dragonstone was not the only thing in the room. On the floor next to it was a golden egg. The egg was as big as Drake. Sparks sizzled and jumped all around it. Whoa, what kind of egg is that? Drake asked. Chapter 13, The Prime Dragonstone. Drake looked the egg up and down. The egg looked alive. Golden lightning bolts of energy shot out of it. The prime dragonstone was a pale green now. Drake could tell it was weaker than ever. He noticed the stream of light sizzle between the dragonstone and the egg. It connected them. As the stone got dimmer, the egg got brighter. It looks like the egg is taking energy from the dragonstone, Drake said. He looked at Worm. A stream of green light flowed between Worm and the egg. The egg was taking energy from Worm, too. What am I supposed to do now? Drake wondered. We came so far to find the dragonstone. Now it's my job to save it. But I don't know how, Drake said out loud. And even if I did, how will we get out of here if Worm has no energy? Think, Drake, think, he told himself. That egg was taking energy from the dragonstone and Worm. So maybe all he had to do was move the egg away from them to break the connection. Push it away. But will I hurt the egg if I move it? Drake took a careful step toward the eggs. The hair on his arm stood up. The air was crackling with energy. His hand slowly moved toward the egg, and he felt the tips of his fingers tingle. Ow, he yelled, pulling his hand back. He couldn't push the egg. He might get hurt. If Worm had energy, he could transport it out. But crack! Suddenly the egg started to break apart. The lightning bolts of energy jumped toward Drake. Worm's eyes shot open. Worm's whole body glowed bright green. The dragonstone was glowing brightly, too. Golden light from inside the egg filled the room. Worm quickly wrapped his body around Drake to protect him. Drake shielded his eyes. The light became brighter and brighter. It almost blinded Drake. Whoosh! Worm and Drake appeared from the pyramid. Look! In Chapter 14. Look! In the sky! Drake felt dizzy. He slowly realized that he and Worm were outside the pyramid. And all of his friends were too. All of the dragonstones were glowing so brightly that the dragon masters couldn't look right at them. Worm got us out, Roy cheered. Good job, Worm, Anna cheered. What happened in the last room? Harrow asked. Did you save the stone? I'm not sure, said Drake. There was this egg, and it was taking energy from the prime dragonstone. Then it hatched right in front of me, and the stone glowed really brightly, and... Look! Petra yelled. Golden lightning bolts were shooting out of the side of the pyramid. Then a dragon flew through the wall, like the wall wasn't there. Both months up. What kind of dragon can slide through walls? That must be what hatched from the egg, Drake realized. It wasn't a big dragon. It looked like a baby compared to the other dragons. Its scales were a shimmering gold color, and its whole body sparked with energy. The dragon flew around wildly. It looked like it did not know which way to go. It's just a baby, cried Anna. Hera's eyes were wide. That's a lightning dragon, he said. I have read about it in the scrolls, but I have never seen one. Drake heard Worm was at his head. We must help him. Drake says we have to help the dragon, repeated Drake. But what if he is dangerous, said Bo. Remember, he almost killed the dragonstone. Right at that moment, a bolt of lightning shot out from the confused baby dragon. It hit a palm tree and fried it. Startled, the baby dragon let out a cry. Then he flew across the night sky. No, come back, yelled Anna. But the baby dragon was gone in a flash. Chapter 15, Dragon on the Loose. The Dragon Masters and the dragons went back to the temple. Tarek and Sarah were waiting for them. Workers ran out to take the dragons. Our dragons don't glow brightly a minute ago, Tarek said. You must have saved the Prime Stone. We found the stone, but it didn't need our help after all, Drake said. And in front, there was a baby dragon who needed our help, but he flew away. A baby lightning dragon, said Haru. Tarek and Sarah looked at each other. It sounds like you've quite a story to tell. Let's get inside, Tarek said. Let's get inside. They went to the dining room of the temple. Sarah brought the tired dragon masters tea and little cakes dripping with honey. Suddenly there was a poof of smoke. Griffith appeared in the room with his friend Diego. Wizard friend Diego. We have news, said Griffith. Tell them, Diego. Every 10,000 years, the energy of the Prime Stone creates a dragon made of energy, explained Diego. It's called a lightning stone, and its egg takes energy from the dragon stone. It's true, said Drake. I saw it happening. Then the Dragon Masters told their story. So the dragon stone created this dragon? Griffith nodded. It looks that way. The dragon stone became weak because it was feeding energy to the egg. But now that the egg is hatched, the stone's power should be strong, at least for another 10,000 years. Petra added. That's why the pyramid is called the Pyramid of the Seven Dragons. But the lightning dragon is the seventh dragon. Sarah nodded. That makes sense. He's just a baby, Anna reminded everyone. He's all alone out there with no family. He must be afraid, said Bo, and he's shooting out energy like crazy, added Rory. He could hurt somebody. Hera frowned. It will not be easy for a dragon like that to stay a secret. Drake had another thought. What if somebody bad gets the lightning dragon? He asked. Griffith stood up. You are all correct. We must act fast to find this dragon and keep him safe, he said. Drake looked at his friends. They had saved the Dragonstone. Right now, he felt like they can tackle anything. We can do it, said Drake. We will work together and find the lightning dragon. Thank you guys for reading it with me. I hope you'll read with me again next time. Thank you. Bye.